Hey friends, welcome back to my little corner. Today I'd like to talk about the local ingredient scene in Pakistan. In the last episode of the series, we spoke about how imported coffees have become difficult to find. Today I want to talk about what's happening in the country with regards to ingredients. In the last few years, the whole world has been on a hyper health kick, and I'm all for it. I think everyone should make decisions that help them lead a healthier life for sure. The Pakistani food scene has grown beyond Varis ki Nihari and Charsi ke Tikke, and a lot more people are now experimenting with different cuisines and different palates. They are eager to see previously unheard of dishes like pho or Korean bibimbap or whatever Ertugrul is eating these days. New diets that are growing in popularity globally are also gaining momentum in Pakistan. Low-carb diets like keto and paleo, as well as alternative lifestyle diets like veganism and intermittent fasting, are becoming increasingly popular. These diets all have their own unique sets of rules and nutritional guidelines, and that's a topic for another video. But today, I want to talk about the specialized ingredients we need to really enjoy these diets to their fullest and the availability of these ingredients in Pakistan. I've been doing keto and intermittent fasting for almost 3 years now, so naturally I'm going to talk mostly about low-carb ingredients today. But before we get into that, I want to talk about fresh vegetables and the rise of organic produce in Pakistan. There are so many organic food options now, it's incredible. Google or Insta search organic food Pakistan once and you'll start seeing ads in your Insta feed. As far as I reckon, it started a few years ago with farmers markets, where small, home-based mom-and-pop startups were able to showcase the fruits of their hobbies, quite literally. Homegrown lemons and oranges or exotic lettuces, jams and preserves, natural additive-free honeys, homemade achars and pickles. These are just a few of the things that were available in the early days. As farmers markets grew in popularity and frequency, people started setting up live food kiosks to test out their foods and gauge market response. And a lot of them went on to set up restaurants, which is great. Little startups like Awesamosas in Lahore were able to sell their wares right next to Cosa Nostra Pizza and other giants. I think this might be where food festivals were born. Big brands got involved and everything sort of snowballed after that, and all of a sudden you've got Atif Aslam headlining Coke Fest with, a footfall of 100,000 people. But it all started with a few people getting together to sell some stuff they'd grown in their garden. People who weren't necessarily in it for the money. People who genuinely wanted to share their produce and know-how. People like Laguna Verde Organic Farms or O's Honey, just to name a few. Organic farms are everywhere now, and that's great for us. Locally grown Swiss chard, kale, rocket, avocados, cherry tomatoes, exotic cabbages and lettuces, all picked, washed and packaged and shipped and often delivered on the same day. It blows my mind how even just a few years ago, things like rocket were hard to find, and avocados were only available at Esajees or Aghas. Fresh mushrooms were unheard of. Even so-called fancy restaurants used those horrible tin bottom mushrooms. It really is a great time to be a cook in Pakistan. You get to play around with these super tasty and fresh and healthy vegetables. And if you're on a low-carb diet like I am, having access to fresh greens and specialty produce like avocados is just fantastic. But keto requires a lot more than just fresh spinach. If you want to enjoy keto cooking, you need ingredients that I'd never even heard of before. Things like coconut flour and xanthan gum and flaxseed powder and chia seeds, erythritol, and even almond flour were scary and expensive sounding. Prices aside, they were difficult to find. Only places like Esajees or Tayyib's or Aghas in Karachi might have had them, depending on if their shipment had arrived that week or not. And yeah, sometimes things were absurdly expensive. I remember I once saw a keto protein shake powder jar for 20,000 rupees. I mean, that's crazy, right? Fast forward just 2 years and you have locally milled almond, coconut and flaxseed flours available at reasonable and affordable prices. Companies like Dali, Rye and the oddly named The Earths now provide you with many options for all the low-carb ladder essentials you could need, which is great. But now let's talk about cheese. This is a touchy subject for me. I love cheese. I mean, I love cheese. And one of the biggest motivations for me adopting the keto diet, other than me having been morbidly obese, was that I could eat a lot of cheese and miraculously still lose weight. I love a good aged, sharp cheddar, and a good quality parmesan is essential to my kitchen. Mozzarella, brie, halloumi, or my absolute favorite, the Harrods Stilton Blue. My most favorite cheese in the whole world. Probably the greatest gift my father has given me is his appreciation of fine cheese. So in the early days of keto, my fridge was often stocked with Emborg mature cheddar and imported parmesan and cream cheese, and the occasional Gouda. These cheeses were expensive, so I nibbled at them quite sparingly. Then imported cheese was declared a luxury item, and prices skyrocketed by as much as 50%, making these cheeses out of reach for myself and many of my keto compatriots. These cheeses have all but disappeared from our supermarkets now. This void left by their disappearance was quickly filled by local cheesemakers. Companies like Artisan Cheese and Farmers Cheese, veterans of the aforementioned farmers markets, started to take center stage. It was an uphill climb. Their early palms and cheddars resembled their imported counterparts in name alone. Things were looking quite bleak initially, but in the name of all cheese that is holy, they came through. They worked on their products and they met demand. Finding locally produced, good quality cheese is now possible. I really enjoy the locally made mozzarella by Farmers Cheese, and their parm is great for cooking. Artisan does nice specialty cheeses like burrata, Gouda, and even Awesamosas style cream cheese. And they're all affordable and organic. And sure, you can always go to Esajees and pick up a block of Edam and Gouda for a treat every now and then. They're delicious, but they are expensive. And they truly have become a luxury because our local cheesemakers have risen to the challenge. And this year, when global trade has been severely stifled by COVID-19, our local guys have been at it, making our cheese. Props to these guys. There are many amazing food products all being made locally now. Milkpack, for example, is doing an excellent whipping cream. Gorilla is killing the peanut butter game, offering a wide variety of bespoke peanut butters. Dry fruit from the northern areas is incredible and is now usually available year-round. Prema does an excellent yogurt and cream cheese. And now, as we discussed in the previous Let's Talk episode, we have so many local coffee roasters. Pakistan has always been a great place for food, and our Varis ki niharis and bhaiye ke kebabs and bhajje ke pie and tawa chicken and nishat ki champe, they will always be a gold standard. But now, even in 2020, it is so much easier to experiment with new flavors and new recipes in the home kitchen. Or just kick back, binge watch churales and enjoy some organic apple slices slathered with some delicious creamy organic peanut butter made in Lahore, along with some walnuts from Hunza and a couple of slices of local brie. It's a good time to be a foodie in Pakistan. That's it for me, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a subject I've been wanting to discuss with you guys for a long time. If you like what I had to say, or even if you disagree, please leave a comment. Don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe. And as always, keep safe, be happy, and eat well.